Previously on Legends of Aelos. As we return to the story, the party is leaving the general store after having just encountered the very familiar, if not exactly identical, scent that was lingering in Grisman's work area in Balin's home after the robbery. The smell is missing a certain masculine pheromone, but Asher affirms it's undeniably a close match that's coming from the female gnome in the shop. Not wanting to create a scene in the store, seeing as the gnome woman reacted to Grizzy's name, the party elects to stand guard outside the entrances of the establishment, ensuring at least someone will encounter her leaving. Most are posted near the front entrance, while Rowan heads around to the back. And it's the back door, of course, that the small gnome makes her exit through. Rowan spots her and attempts to stop her, but the gnome pays no heed to Rowan's words and distances herself as quickly as possible, ducking down an alleyway. After the rest of the group enter the shop and discover that the person of interest is left at the back, they meet up with Rowan and he conveys the gnome's departure just moments ago before they all give chase. The trail lingers slightly still, but it is difficult to track her. The group almost loses her. Before they do, the five see her peeking her head out of the door of the Broken Thorn, only to immediately retreat inside as they spot her and her them. Asher and Ace enter the inn and tavern to give chase, while the other three head to the back alley to monitor the balconies. Sure enough, the group in the back alley does spot her hopping from one balcony to the next, but as she is about to actually fall from one whilst moving to another, Briar intervenes to both parties' benefits as she levitates the small gnome and Misty steps up to the balconies themselves. After a quick interrogation of her, the party confirms that the female gnome, Sienna Cottrell, is not the individual proper who had burgled Grizzy's research, but her accomplice and partner most certainly is the culprit, a gnomish man by the name of Xander. She actually came to town to get supplies and potentially assistance with a problem that had presented after work they'd done, based upon Grizzy's notes, had gotten out of hand. Considering the time of day and the effort of the group having to track her down, they decide to rest for the evening and make for Sienna and Xander's ad hoc workshop just south of Lowell in the morning. The evening proves to be uneventful. Sienna makes no attempt to escape, and come the morning, she and the party make way to the workshop. Along the way, there is conversation back and forth between various party members and Sienna, she informing the former more about their organization, ISTA, the Institute of Science, Technology, and Arcana, based out of Lake Grasp, and what the intents were for the plans that, to Sienna's conveyed understanding, had been legitimately acquired by Xander from Grizzy. During the travel conversations, Ace brings up the crystal that he had procured from the village on Kellepie, and Karan, taking notice of this, elects to intervene considering what he now suspects, that all gems of such origin and type could have the potential of becoming corrupted, or perhaps even are inherently already corrupted. He confirms his suspicions in his first attempt to request the crystal from Ace, as he, in a seemingly entranced state, puts the crystal back into his bag. Karan does manage to sway Ace into allowing him to take it, this time Ace appearing to maintain his lucidity, and as he grasps it, Karan feels the cooling of recently active magics that are all too similar to his own phylactery, and he places the gem in his bag to keep the two from falling into far more temptable hands. Arriving at their destination, Zian and the group are greeted, in a sense, by Xander, who notices the entourage now accompanying his partner. The five confront Xander, and he eventually concedes the truth and laments to it having produced the issue at hand, a machination of arcana and clockwork that has run wild within the workshop. The party agrees to deal with the issue, provided the terms the party will set forth are followed to the letter. Upon entering the main workshop chamber, the five behold the metallic humanoid, and upon its acknowledgement of them, combat ensues. The construct is extremely durable, and its attacks prove its design for being nothing more than a weapon of war. It attacks with speed and ferocity. Its arms can not only cut and smash, but can spew fire as a dragon would, and it can lob explosive objects as if it were a catapult or trebuchet. Even so, perhaps it being the resolve of the party against such a nefarious creation, or even perhaps Grizzy himself looking down upon them in favor, the group proves to be more than the clockwork soldier can handle. With glittering light guiding Rowan's blades, he makes an attack that has a terminal effect upon the construct. But this contraption is not without a final surprise, perhaps by design, or just the sheer energy transferred from Rowan's blow. A reaction sets off a massive explosion that engulfs the entire party. Fortunately, the force of the blast isn't enough to eradicate the area and its inhabitants, but the group is damaged somewhat. The same cannot be said about the construct, whose dismembered head manages a short statement about it being warforged before going slack and lifeless. The party leave to confront Xander and Zienna. There is contention amongst them, however. Rowan is inclined to return the notes to Xander and Zienna, provided they give Grizzy his due credit. Karun proposes they could return it to Ista if they really want Grizzy's work to be expanded upon in his absence, rather than return it to Balin. Briar voices, however, that she believes these creatures need be destroyed, and any documentation that could lead to the creation of an unstoppable clockwork army eradicated along with them. What could be of such a work? What are they? Are they creations? Or are they actually a form of sentience? Xander informs the party that it was not programmed with the ability to recognize itself as a warforged, let alone speak, yet it did. Would the eradication of this being and its origins be no different than the eradication of races of magical origin? Regardless, whatever potentials there could be, ultimately the notes are returned to Xander and Zienna, who, after agreeing to the terms as discussed prior, return to the workshop as the party returns to Lowell. And it's from here we shall continue the story of the Legends of Aelos.
Welcome back. Return to the party as they make their way to Lowell, perhaps to recover from their deluge with the mechanical man. First course of action, what would you like to do?
I need to get some sleep. I feel all roughed up after that fight.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, some good work, and Rowan's gonna kind of put out a fist out to Ace for a fist bump. Good teamwork there, guys. Run really pumping out that damage.
Wow,
Working hard.
it's all you. The least I could do is give you a hand in finding your target, which you did quite well.
Shiny, can't
I
miss it.
couldn't tell if that thing went off because it was designed to, or if it was just because you hit it so hard.
Well, I guess we'll never know.
Regardless, I can agree. We definitely need to rest. But if we do, that means that we'd have to prolong us departing.
Think so.
Otherwise, we'd probably get about a few hours outside of town before we would have to rest for the evening, unless we want to trek through the night. It's going to take us, we said, about 2 or so days to get to Lade's Grasp, correct, Ashen?
I believe so. Like I said, I was taking my time, but about 2 days.
The last time that we adventured out, we fought some pretty scary things and saw some pretty scary things on the road. And to be honest, with the condition that me and Rowan are in, I'd much rather be at 100% not knowing what we're going to be facing rather than get out there and get into an even stickier situation.
I completely agree. We don't want to walk in and have ourselves already be on the verge of exhaustion. The question is, do we want to wait all the way through to the next morn and then depart, or do we want to rest and leave in the evening, only travel a small bit before we post camp?
I see.
I say we stay and in the morning, get some breakfast, get a full stomach, full travel for the travel, and then so it keeps us from eating on the road. As long as we eat once a day, we can just eat some pancakes. I really like their pancakes, so.
Good. That's fine. That'll give us time to rest, relax. There's nothing really I need to take care of. Is there anything else that anyone else needed to? That we didn't tend to after having left the general store.
If we can maybe get a deer before we head on out, maybe we can.
Well, let's talk about rabbits. That was a lot of meat that
rabbits.
We had to track out.
That's true. Oh, speaking of a hard time, and Rowan's gonna go ahead and pull out the letter that Ace gave him before they dropped down into the treasured booty. Here.
What's that?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's just a letter he wanted me to give to his family if something were to have happened to him. Hopefully I didn't have to.
Yeah.
But actually would be wise that everyone, if there's anything you needed to communicate back, be kept.
Briar, do you need anything?
I just have to use it.
Before, but what do you think?
I think she just wants to decompress. She had a fairly strong opinion about what we discussed earlier.
Gotcha.
Need some.
Yeah, she's kind of moved along ahead a little bit. And she does kind of seem a little bit in her head, a bit kind of about the disagreement that everybody had about.
I'll tend to her as best I can. I think she just needs time. But if you want to take care of any other last minute preparations, otherwise, we can, I can't believe I'm saying this, enjoy ourselves about the town.
I have something I'd like to do if we have a couple of hours. I'll be down at the treasured booty if you guys need me for anything. If not, I'll meet back with you guys here at night to rest, and we'll go in the morning.
I think I'll stay with Briar, but we'll all know where to find me if you need me.
Rowan, would you like to accompany me?
Yeah, I'll tag along. See new things?
Sure.
I do believe no.
You've been in there once. I mean, why not just go again? I mean...
Well, let's be honest here. That never happened. Once you leave this town.
Right. Never happened. You didn't go in there.
Well, if you guys stay out too late, we should get an early start before sun preferably before the sun comes up and it starts warming up.
I'll keep an eye on the clock for Ace.
She'll take care of me if I drink too much.
Yeah. All right. Well,
All right then.
Sure.
You two enjoy yourselves.
Yes.
All right. We'll catch you guys in the morning then.
So I'm sure we'll probably eat up for dinner unless you have your fill. The booty.
I'm not. I'm just going to support a friend. I can't. My mom would kill me as well as Evie, so I'm good.
Very well. Well,
All right. And
until later then.
we'll see you soon. And Ron's gonna kind of shift over towards the treasured booty as we're like walking with Ace. I'm sure.
Yeah. As we're walking, Ace will kind of throw his hand over you, kind of thing, be like, "So, now that I don't have to be so secretive, maybe I kind of wanted you to come because I wanted to try something out. I have some superstitions, or I have some ideas of what this ring around my neck does. My mentor, my father figure, he used to always help people. It's one of the reasons why I looked up to him so much. He always seemed to have this ring on. He did it. So when we get in here, there might be hoping I might be able to help some people.
All right. Is there anything you want me to keep an eye on in particular, or just kind of be there?
Just kind of be there if you want.
All right, I can do that. Easy enough. That's pretty cool. I always wondered what that was. I was just, didn't know if that was like a family thing or.
Yeah,
Let's give it
it's
a go.
pretty neat.
And-
I'm hoping it does what I think it does. Or else this will be really awkward.
May I see that? May I take a look at it? Just
sure. He hands it to you.
When I look at it, is there like any engravings or anything in particular that would pop up to Rowan?
It's kind of got a wood-like, earthy look to it. It's like almost wood on one end, and then the inside is kind of like a resin. It has like a bluish aqua green tinge to it.
This is really well crafted. Wow. Ron's gonna kind of plop it up and down in his hand, kind of feel the weight. Wow. I want to talk to whoever made this.
That's the hope. One day, I hope to find somewhere safe for my parents. That's why I came here.
I'll help you. I'll help you make it just a little bit safer for him. Pretty much determined that that's what I don't know about everybody else, or you, but that's kind of what I hope for us as a group, is to make a town just a little bit better for everybody.
It's good to me.
Let's get a beer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Last time we came here, we fell to the ceiling.
I wonder if they patched that, by the way.
How long has it been? It's only been a day. 2 days.
Oh, yikes. We might actually owe them some money. I don't know. This might be bad.
If we do, maybe we can kind of go get Karan and maybe he can calm him down. He does like that weird thing. He can
magic.
Calm me down. He's not. I think it's more so of his presence. I don't know. He's a pretty calming guy. He's a kind of got like that.
I want to get him drunk. I wonder what he's like drunk. I bet you he's really funny. Like, he comes up with some really funny jokes.
You think Karan was pretty good at telling
jokes?
Oh
yeah, I bet you.
I don't know about drug, like slipping him some water maybe one day.
Some water? Oh God, we're drugging him. Okay.
Jeez. The hell am I playing with?
Maybe we can sway him.
So as you come into the treasured booty, it's It's got a weird feel to it. Everything's almost as it was when you initially entered, but there are blood stains from all the business that happened there last you were there. They were wiped up as best they could, but there are dark kind of just ingrained stains in the hardwood floors now. One of the tables has been kind of like propped up against the side that was broken, the legs broken off, and a chair sitting there too, kind of like a pile in the corner. Everything else, again, as you walk in, the women in the far right corner, and to your left, straight ahead, is the familiar face of the barkeep there, Raffin. He kind of... Welcome.
It's still there.
Yeah, don't look at it. Don't pay
He kind of eyes the blood stain, kind
of. Raffin, right?
Right.
Good to see you. Really sorry about that. Ron's gonna kind of follow his gaze, looking at the stuff, but we're just here for business. Yeah, we could have some of your finest ale.
What about that fella that was with you?
What fella?
I don't know, bandit one.
He's gone. He kind of left us hanging.
Yeah, he kind of started a mess.
Unfortunately.
Started a real mess.
But I never say no to business. It must go on.
Yeah. Again, really sorry about it. And Rowan's gonna put down 2 gold. Kind of like a piece.
Apology
offering.
accepted. He kind of immediately slaps it and slides it into his hand and pocket.
Are you the owner of this establishment?
I am.
It's nice to meet you.
What's your name?
My name's Ace.
Ace. Nice to meet
Rowan.
you. Rowan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
He kind of looks to his left, eyes the girls, and then looks back to you. What kind of business are you looking for today?
I'm just looking for a drink.
I'm looking for a drink and possibly some time alone with a woman.
That can be arranged. Business is a little slow right now, so you have your pick. As you look over there, you see a dwarf lady and 2 humans and then a half-elf.
You wouldn't mind if I went over and inspect?
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna look at Rowan and just hold my beer. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah.
And Ace is gonna walk over to the women and who of you, talking to the women, of course, is the elder maiden of the house?
The
Who?
dwarf lady kind of sits up. She's kind of in the back corner a little bit, and she kind of... Oh, yeah, dear.
He's gonna kind of kneel down to be, at her height, kind of, for showing respect. Your girls, are they all well? Have they been treated well?
Well enough.
Does any of them need anything? Help? Health? Money?
What? What are you on about?
Just think of somebody that wants to help. Somebody that is not like the average man that comes in here. Want to take care of somebody. You, the women, any of them that need it.
I don't know what you can do about that, but I've not been too well myself lately.
May I ask what's bothering you?
Just, come down with something. Don't tell Raffin, though. I tried to hide it best I can, but... She kind of pulls out, like, a cloth, and as she pulls it to her mouth to kind of, like, wipe, you actually see, there's, like, some blood in it.
Okay. What is his name? The bartender. Raffin? Raffin! The dwarven one. That's who I want.
Alright. That'll be, a gold and 5 silver.
I'm gonna put my hand up to Ace. You can pay me back when you're done, since you're over there. Ron's gonna put down the mugs and...
Sounds good.
What is it? A gold and 3 silver?
5 silver.
5 silver.
You see her kind of confused, and she kind of stuffs it back in. It's kind of concerned look on her face, like, oh, all right. And she kind of leads you to that door that you saw them all escape and hide in. As she leads you down, it is mostly just a cellar, and there are different, almost kind of like the bathhouse that you guys were at. There's different divided sections there. She takes you to the furthest back corner there.
I have an ability, and I'm hoping to attempt to use it to make your health improve. If you would trust me, I would like to attempt it. Hopefully make you feel better.
Alright, that's the strangest offer I've ever had, but what do I need to do?
And he's gonna like take her hand and like try like sit on a bench. I'm guessing, and take his gauntlet off and put the ring on, and just put his hand kind of over her forehead and attempt to focus on the ring and use the magic that is in it.
Mm-hmm. Nothing happens for a moment. It's kind of a awkward. Just she kind of stares up at you and kind of. You start to feel this soothing, warm sensation emanate from the ring, but it's like it feels like a warm breeze, but there's no air in here moving or anything like that, but you just feel this emanate, and you see kind of this reaction from her. She kind of and you see almost like the color return to her skin a little bit. It's like almost this like life kind of enter her eyes, and she kind of clears her throat a little bit. What have you done?
I think so. Do you feel better? Do you look better?
I do. I feel great.
He's gonna kneel down again. My mother was the maiden of the house, and she always raised me to treat women with as much respect as you could. I know that it is a woman's choice to do with what they please with their bodies, but you are not property. I hope that in helping you with your health, you can help the women here and make sure that they aren't being used as slaves or property. I know this trade, I know this business, it's not always the best, but I hope that you can take care of yourself. Hopefully the girl's a little better now.
I've always done what I can to take care of them. A place like this, you can get pretty rough. Thank you.
If you ever need anything, my name is Dominicus, also known as Ace. Send a letter to
Lake Grass?
Lake Grasp. Send a letter to Lake Grasp and asking for me, and I'll be able to help you as best as I can. Just know that you have friends, and that you're worth more than copper and filth.
She kind of just hurries over and just wraps her arms around you. She kind of buries her head in the side. Thank you for this.
You're welcome. And he's going to reach in his back pocket and pull out like five gold. It's not a ton, but it's something. Please use it wisely and don't let him see it.
She kind of just
Use it for
stuffs it in her shirt a little bit.
Yeah. Hopefully it helps with the other girls if they need anything. And be safe.
You're too kind.
I've been told that a couple times. But I think that if you put enough kindness out in the world, maybe someday it'll stick.
Oh, it's stuck today.
I hope so. And with that, he's gonna open the door and gonna kind of like frazzle his shirt a little bit, maybe put some wrinkles in there kind of thing, and walk out and sit down on the bar. Oh, all right. Rowan, you said 2 gold, 5 silver.
I don't
1
know what
gold,
you're
5
talking
silver.
about. No,
One.
I don't know what you're talking about. Ron's gonna kind of wave his hand like, don't worry about it.
To stop giving your money away that you're never going to have.
Says the guy
sure
who just
what-
gave away 5 gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure. And Rowan's gonna lock eyes with Ace and say, "It is worth it." Can't really put a price on something like that. And then tap his shoulder, knowing what his full intentions was to help somebody there. So, and just kind of enjoy the drink.
All right. Now, what kind of ale do you have?
Rowan's gonna slide the mug over that I'm sure he was given already. It's good.
Raffin
I don't know.
kind of just. It's pretty generic. Little thick. Thick.
Yeah.
Kind of leaves like a little film in your mouth.
Yeah. What a head.
Moving over to Krun, were you heading back into the Broken Thorn?
Yeah, and I figured, Asher, you're following. I mean, obviously,
Yeah, I'd be going with.
Yeah. We still haven't caught up to Briar, I imagine, but we know where she's going. She's going to the same place anyway.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, as you head in there, Briar just heads straight up to the room initially. And then as you come in, actually, Ariar actually stops you, Karan, and she hands you a letter.
What's this? Thank you.
Lady Calandra came by and left this for you.
Calandra. Thank you, Aria. Did she say what for?
She said, I mean, you can just read it. She left it. She didn't seal it or anything like that. It's just, she just liked to see you, I think.
I don't know. I'll open up and I'll read it.
It just says, "Dearest Karan, come visit me before you take your leave. I have some ideas. Sincerely, Calandra. Mother Calandra."
Ideas. Interesting. Well, Asha, what exactly did you intend on doing? Just staying around? Or did you have any plans yourself?
I had no plans. I figured we'd leave pretty early in the morning, so get as much rest as we could.
No, I completely agree. This message, though, Calendra, Mother Calendra from the temple, she's requesting that I go see her. She doesn't say if it's exclusively me, but she did also only address myself. Would you be opposed to looking after Briar? I mean, you're more than welcome to come with if you felt so inclined. I don't know exactly what it is. She just says she has some ideas.
Well, I can stay here and keep an eye on the place.
So long as it's not an inconvenience to you, I am curious. I would appreciate it.
Well, if you need help, let us know.
Hopefully I won't fall myself into anything unfortunate. Anything I figured it'd be the other two that would run into that problem, but I think they can handle themselves. Thank you, Asha. Hopefully I'll just meet you up later once I've discovered what it is she wants to talk to me about.
Well, you know where to find me.
And then I'll take my leave to head to the temple.
Yep. As you come to the temple, Calandra is in there. She's kind of, you see her over on this desk to the left. She's kind of like going through different papers, kind of like turning stuff over and like referencing different things. And then she notices you. Karan.
Calandra, you
I've been doing some research, and you're Neramine, right?
Yes, I am. What kind of research have you been doing?
You know that moment when we were trying to bring Dominicus back, and you
Yes.
had to step out? I noticed, and she kind of points to her neck, your phylactery.
Does she notice that I'm not wearing it anymore?
Yeah, she's kind of implying that she saw it then and sees that you're not wearing it now.
I have a feeling I know what it is. And I'll reach in and open up the bag and show her. I'm not going to touch the actual crystals and show that I have both of them there. I just kind of have the two of them separated so they're not directly touching each other, but they're in the same area of the bag. This was reacting.
I've been doing some research on their powers, and I've had to pull a lot of different references, and nothing specifically talking about this, but from what I've gathered, they, for as much good as they can do and power in that way, your clerical abilities, they're also a link to another realm. And as she kind of like messes with her references and stuff and kind of like reads another thing.
Can I approach to like be on the other side to read with her to see what she's pointing at rather than her just reiterating it to me? Perhaps I can read it myself.
One of them is kind of like a clerical like encyclopedia, and it has just like a brief like paragraph on Moonwell Lake stones, and kind of just referencing all the different like ways that healing can be done and such like that. But it has kind of a small annotation that says corruption, and she kind of references it and says, it says here that that link can be intensified when spells not intended for healing are used. So I don't know exactly how that works, but it seems that the more you essentially use necrotic magics, the stronger that link becomes. But just, I guess, to be forthright, is that what you were encountering?
Well, it's interesting you put it as when the magic used, the object reflects the magic channeled through it. In essence, I've always felt as if it were guiding me more, but when it came to my practicing more virtuous clerical spells and rituals, I didn't sense anything. It just felt as though it should. It was stronger in some senses than if I were to practice without. Especially, it imbued this sense of protection, this disposition of being resilient. But when I utilized that necrotic touch, there was more. There was another presence. As if it wasn't my channeling through to something was something on the other end was speaking to me. Encouraging, relishing the utilization of those dark energies, and it felt, before I took it off, it started to feel a sense of normalcy. So maybe that there, but it still felt as if there was some other presence trying to entice me. And of others I've encountered not long ago, I can see how that compulsion can degrade into obsession.
She kind of shuffles over to another book, and
This one is more, well, fantastical, mythical, but from what you're saying, seems like it, at least by virtue of first-person account, might have some merit.
and she kind of opens up, flips through the pages.
It talks about a place called the Near.
Yes, go on.
And supposedly this is the plane, I was to describe it, that these stones have a connection to. It is
How
described as a prison. So perhaps whatever entity is communicating to you from there just seeks to escape.
How old is that book? This one, this mythical.
Oh, this copy itself isn't that old, but I know the story's been handed down, so who knows how accurate it is, you know, as stories get told over time, the embellishments that happen, but it's at least 1,000 years old.
And how much would you say you know of people?
I'm afraid not much, only what I've read, and she kind of looks at her books. To be honest, actually, never met one until now.
It's not surprising. It's true. Few of us ever leave our homeland. And usually those that do are people such as myself. Occasionally you might find someone who's not a fairy. It's rare. May I see this book?
Yes.
You looking at the mythical one?
Yes, the mythical one. That's the one I'm interested in.
Yeah, it's illustrated as well. It has
goody.
oh goody.
I like the pictures.
It has a like almost wave-like ethereal like drawing, and this like vague shape, this mound kind of within this mist, and this mostly blue and purple and kind of dark shroud, but amidst that is a almost tinge of 2 dots of like purple, red mixed in.
So you would say this isn't so much like text with pictures, this is more like translated pictograms, or like it's something that was written in pictures and then translated?
This is the illustration. The text itself, just as a brief synopsis, is basically essentially what she said. The plane of the near, and it mentions portals and gateways from the material realm here, and moonwells that that are the gateway between the realms.
This is obviously a book that I couldn't just glance over and confirm or deny the information in. I'd probably have to go and read it at some length to really see how much.
There's not a whole lot. I mean, it's literally written almost like a children's story in a way. That's why she was saying, like, bear with me, this is like a children's story, and like if you were to flip through it, you would find the tale of Odysseus as well. Like,
would you say that I know the entirety of the contents and could easily reference, or is a lot of this not particularly fully understood by me looking at it in its transcription? Obviously, there's some things I know.
I would say most of it is probably pretty familiar, but it's almost eerily familiar, because like it's putting words to something that you felt, if that makes sense. It's something that you've seen, and for somebody to have, you know, written down, it almost seems invasive, kind of.
Okay. This tale, this children's novel, it touches me in a very peculiar, eerie fashion. This feels very familiar, and in particular, the utilization of the near. In that sense, it's a derivative of what we are, the Neramine. In historically, our people's language, mean would be folk, and there are 3 races. There's the Neramine, us. There's the Aelmine, the Wood Elves, such as Briar. And then there's the Tailmine. Those are the High Elves, the High Sun Elves. The root word of near means beneath. And for some reason, though, I can't quite put my finger on it, there's something very perplexingly familiar about this story, although I really wish there were more to expand upon. Is there anything else like what's in this that you've come across? Is this the only thing?
Well, that is the one. She kind of points to the one that you're holding, the mythical one. That is the one that mentions it being, of course, that's probably where the embellishment is, a prison for a dark entity. And that if you were to be sent there, you would be, I don't know, a bit morbid for a children's story, but you know how they go.
Sometimes it's a point to be made, even if not particularly pleasant. It's the point of a children's tale, after all, a ballad, to teach a lesson. But what's the lesson this one's trying to teach? And who is it is referencing? So this is the only one that has this context to it, or at least in this disposition.
I've kind of, she kind of looks at different books. I don't know what the truth is, what's embellished and what's not, but they all have some kind of link. The common factor is the stones being a portal of some sort. Well, the moonwells being a portal, and the stones being the power source of that, with a link to that. But what I was hoping is that perhaps I could try something to perhaps do a cleansing or reset of the phylactery. I know it is a sacred item to your people, but
It is of the moon well, so I would initially be dubious, no offense, if there is anything that can be done by something inherently from one. I can attest that those exist, if they exist explicitly in the capacity that this book elaborates. I guess I can't say for certain any longer, but I've no reason to distrust. You have given me every reason, in fact, to trust you more implicitly than others, considering your order. If you think there's something that can spare me from having to bear the burden of these two things, I am willing to look into it, so long as the sacrifice is not great. I don't want to put this upon anyone else, especially not until I find out more.
She reaches into her desk, opens the drawer, and pulls out this like really bright white, almost sparkly chainmail glove. She slips it onto her right hand and she kind of gestures to the pouch.
I'll
May I?
hold it out. I'd recommend only one at a time. I intentionally kept the two apart, considering they both emanate. I'll make sure she grabs mine first, as opposed to...
She reaches in and pulls it out and kind of holds it up. And as she holds it up, you kind of zone in on it a little bit. Go ahead and roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
It's a 14 plus 4, 18.
Perfect. You see as she takes this bowl, this almost chalice, she kind of dips it in the chalice a little bit, and then kind of does a little bit of an incantation, kind of moves her hand, and then kind of twists the bowl a little bit and pours the water out, reaches into her pouch and pulls out another flask and fills it up again. You kind of watch as she performs this little ritual. She pulls out a little pouch of this like silver dust, and she kind of like pours it into the chalice. Go ahead and make another wisdom saving throw for me.
Okay, that one is only a 14. That's 10 plus 4.
It almost feels like time slows down for a little bit as she goes to dip it in one more time. And it touches the surface of the water, and you feel this like this like whirling sensation in your head. And the necrotic energies that you've sent throughout your hand on different occasions with your inflict wounds spell, and you kind of feel your hand shaking and reaching out a little bit, and you feel this, whereas normally it's isolated to your hand, it feels like it's swimming around in your body and in your head, and you feel this she dunks it, and that feeling leaves. And she pulls it back out as water drips off of it, you feel again the traveling through your body. And you feel this like, almost like you can see this necrotic energy just kind of like smoke falling from your hand as you hold it there. Roll me another wisdom saving throw.
It's another 14. 10 plus 4.
You're in a battle right now and you don't even know it.
Apparently.
It's cocked. It's cocked. I have too many dice on my tray, so it keeps... Okay.
Sounds like a personal problem.
I got that pound of dice. All right. Again, she dunks it and you feel normal. And she pulls it out once more. Water drips off of it, and again. And you begin to reach out to her, facing away from you almost, not paying attention. Roll me another wisdom saving throw. Sorry.
Oh, nat 20.
Let's go.
Nice.
You are almost grabbing her shoulder, and you feel this necrotic energy, and she turns to look at you, and you stop as she dunks it one more time, and she holds it in there and kind of... Are you okay?
It would be better if this works.
You kind of brace yourself as she pulls it out one more time. The water drips off of it. And you see it swirling around in there, and you kind of zone in on it. And you expect to feel that. You do, a little bit. You feel... And you've kind of, hands to your side, you feel this energy leave your fingertips. And you feel free. And she kind of holds it up and dumps out the chalice on the other side. She's holding it in the chain-mailed glove. Oh, my blind. Perfect timing. Good timing.
Glorious.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
And she kind of reaches
And
out, kind of almost hesitantly. How do you feel?
I'll reach out slowly, but determinedly at my own pace. Like, there's no compulsion. Every like bit, inch, centimeter that I get closer before I actually grab it, and then I'll pull it back in. Go ahead. And look at it. Is it doing anything as I hold it?
It's
Okay.
kind of... It strikes memories in your head. It takes you back to the day you first received it. In your blessing ceremony where you were first ordained as a farrier. And it feels new again. But then your mind kind of wanders to your years with it and the adventures you've had with it, and how it lost that newness, that purity. And you remember the powers that you've used through it. And then your mind comes back to the swirling, kind of clear energy within it. And you feel like it's new again.
So in response to her question, I'll say, free. But I feel clear now, as if somehow something was lost or picked up since I first got this that changed it, but the only things that I can think that directly relate to that negativity, the powers I used. But I don't feel that ominous air. I don't hear that sinister duality in my mind. I feel clearer than I've realized I've felt in a while.
She kind of... To be honest, I was worried that wasn't going to work.
Well, for now, it seems to have. In fact, that ritual. Can you show me how to do that? With this one. I'll produce the bag. The same way, I'm not going to grab it or anything.
It's... kind of like an atonement, but instead of on, I don't know what kind of rituals you have in your Naramine society, but it's kind of like performing an atonement ceremony, but not quite on a person or humanoid, is on an item. And she kind of walks you through the steps that she took with the chalice. But as she comes over to the chalice, as it had been tipped over, part of the ritual ceremony that she had done, you notice as the water, as it had spilled out from either side, she first dropped the first set out the left side on the altar, and then on the right side of the altar, you see the water flow towards the center and oddly form this like circle. And you see it kind of start to spin, and you see her as she walks to it, she kind of stops and looks at it, and then takes a step back as the water on the altar turns red as it swirls around the altar. And the chalice, as it sits there, you see as it kind of rolls on its side in a circular motion. She kind of takes a step back and kind of like grabs your arm.
Yeah, I'll guide her away a bit too, if I can.
And as the red tinge of this water becomes thick and viscous blood red, you see as a clawed hand reaches through, and you see these long talons as it takes the chalice and goes, and the water falls down the side of the altar.
I'll look to her and say, I do believe that what's in this book is not
Adequate.
any form of myth, no. There's much more here. It's
It
much
was-
more sinister to me, though.
A large hand. It was probably like
The size of the altar, I imagine, in terms of like.
yeah, probably the
Kind of
yeah,
like that hand that Cathiel was using to attack me,
Yes.
like that type of hand. Yeah, maybe.
pretty large, enough to grab
Yeah.
a person.
Certainly enough to crush a chalice.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. Basically
You
telling her that.
see as the chalice is actually left there, but it is bent and warped and mangled. The gems that were inlaid in it are kind of scattered along the altar, and the water, no longer blood red, has just kind of dissipated along the altar. That was quite a fright.
That was unfortunately also quite enlightening in a devastatingly negative way.
What
I have to find out more.
was that?
So, the only thing that I can even remotely connect that to is that presence, that entity that I felt in the back of my mind. That's... I've seen this. We were on Calliope. And we encountered, and I ask that you not that I have to, I believe, ask you not be too open with this. But we were on Calliope Isle, and we encountered more of my kind. My ilk were corrupted. Not compelled to go in one way. They embraced whatever this is, whatever manifests this, that entity. There was a farrier, an elder of mine, very capable, who had been corrupted, and he utilized those very magics, the summoning of this ethereal skeletal hand. And there is something much more dark and sinister. And I really believe that this book, this child's story, has more truth in it than most other literature will come across regarding this. I need more. I need more information. I need to speak with my elders, my consults, the clergy. Whatever this is cannot bode well for more than just myself and my people. But I'm dealing with fragments, puzzle pieces. I need to see a greater picture. Is there anywhere that you might be able to recommend I go that's outside of my conclave that could have text, scrolls, other literature that's as old as this? Anything you can think of that I can be availed access to, of course.
She kind of scrolls through the kind of mythical book, and she kind of traces down, and she kind of takes a little sheet of paper or like parchment, kind of rips it off, and then writes a name. This. Perhaps if you check the library, you're headed to Lake Grasp?
Yes. Ista.
It's a shot in the dark, but the author of this story, I don't know if you've heard of him, supposedly one of your kind. His name is Dathlel.
To actually recognize that name.
Roll me a history
other
check.
Books, maybe. That is the 19 plus
19, yeah.
Yeah. Plus 1, 20.
the name Dathlel, you recall being a former farrier who was exiled.
I do recognize this name, but I have no real experience with his works. Exposure, I should say. He was a farrier like myself, but was exiled. And of course, anything that he would have contributed at that point would have been stricken from whatever access. Possibly even destroyed. Not sure.
Perhaps
It was not something we kept.
what he contributed that got him exiled.
Precisely. Which is what really perks my interest. I can speak with someone who's been in my shoes, who has walked a similar path, but obviously found some contention with the Conclave, so much so that they threw him out. And he's in Lake Grasp. Is he affiliated with Ista, or...
I don't know if he's in Lake Grasp. She kind of points to, he was the author of this tale. And so perhaps if you find more works from him, or if... Well, I doubt he's alive.
Would Ista be the best place to start? Probably be the better way of putting it.
They do have quite a library, yes.
Perhaps. I honestly am... For people always my instructors saying that I was wise beyond my years, know far less than I anticipated about the world outside of my own. So I guess I will start there. Thank you. May I keep this for the night, return this tomorrow before we depart? I want to make a copy.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Good. Okay. Anybody else? What would you like to do? Now that we got that out of the way, no big deal.
Rowan is probably just overwatching Ace, or doing his thing at the bar, just kind of just hanging out. But keeping a watchful eye on the clock, like right around like 9 or 10. Wanted to get back before we head outside that full rest mark.
Mm-hmm.
Want to get back before then.
Yeah. So I'd say if nobody has anything else they'd like to do, we can head to that time and kind of reconvene back in the Broken Thorn for dinner. Okay.
So I know you wanted to do something with that ring. Did it end up working?
I think so. She was coughing blood, and it was interesting. I'm new to this magic stuff, kind of new, and it was interesting seeing her going from sick to not. I think it worked.
Rowan's just gonna kind of, you see him just let out like a huge sigh of like, wow, like relief. Just be like, that's huge.
She was the maiden mother, mistress of the house. I hope I was able to do something there.
Hope you did. And Rowan's gonna kind of like do like a little head nod towards as they're walking away. You changed her life. She might have been, I don't know. I don't know her condition, but you made an impact.
I just hope it wasn't.
Good. Rowan's gonna
hope-
kind of
I
shift,
hope that
like
he is treating them well. I hope he's not disrespecting.
we'll have to come back and check on them in like a month or so. Or more.
I gave her the location of where we would be. Told her to write to us if she needs any.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Hopefully, hopefully we hear from her, but at the same time, hopefully we don't, because sometimes, you know, no news is good news. But
Right.
that's awesome, Ace. Wow. I wish I had, you know, I can do something like that, kind of help. But that's, I think, Ron's gonna kind of hold up his hands as is, and I think these will do enough. But that's awesome. Ron's gonna kind of do like a really happy, like, bro hug. At least it worked. That's all that matters.
Thank you. Thank you for coming with me.
You're welcome. Anytime.
So you guys, were you doing? Was this in Broken Thorn?
No, this is probably like
This is back at.
on
Treasure Booth.
walking on the way back. Yeah.
So having dinner at Broken Thorn. Unless there's any conversation you'd like to have there, we can just take off some gold, or not gold. It'd be a couple copper, copper each, or just do like
It's a token.
Yeah, copper each. And Rowan would probably go straight to bed afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But you said how much copper each?
2 copper each.
Oh.
With the RER Druid discount.
Remove. Actually,
98 copper, right?
Mhm.
Like 100 copper is 1 gold, right?
100 copper.
100 copper is 1 gold. Yes.
That's what. Okay, because that's all I pretty much have. So I just
Mhm.
Are you
Yes.
broke?
No.
He just has gold
I have
coins.
gold. I have gold and silver, and that's it.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
gotcha.
So
Yeah,
I
so
just,
You
I'm
could
gonna
just subtract
remove.
the silver and add 8 copper.
It's
Yeah.
not letting me do that.
Mhm.
It won't break the change.
It won't
for
let you remove 2
It won't let me break the chain. No.
Gotta start giving you guys more copper. You want more copper?
Every time we're in a general store, be like, "Here, can I give you 10 silver for 100 copper?" Yeah, sure, no problem. Can you break the silver piece for me?
I think my D&D Beyond is messing up.
Possibly, yeah.
'Cause
You should be
I-
able to remove a silver and
Yes.
add 2 copper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 8 copper. 8 copper.
We also have like 10 pounds of copper too, so we could just give her like a pound of copper.
Just dump a bunch of scrap metal. Here, that's enough.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Bartering.
So,
So
I
as
am
each
gonna
of you make your way to your respective rooms and settle down for the night, if there's anything you would like to do, otherwise you will complete a long rest.
No, Rowan is gonna look outside because he's on one of the porches. He has one of the patios.
Mhm. Yeah, they all do.
Is there? What's the moon phase?
What is the moon phase? Let's
Can
see.
he even see the sun? He can't sun. The moon. Can he even see the moon?
Hold on. We're saying this. We're looking at a waning gibbous.
A waning gibbous. Okay.
waning gibbous. Okay.
Yep, so
Okay.
pretty nearly full-ish, 75% illumination.
Okay. Rowan is just gonna kind of perch himself on the balcony a little bit and just kind of relax for about 10 minutes before he goes to bed and just kind of just looking at the moon. Quietly watching.
Um, Run.
Yes.
As you enter your trance, you get a vision. Far different from what you've been experiencing lately. You find yourself in a bright sunlit meadow. And it's calm and peaceful, and you kind of walk around. Just smell of fresh flowers and a cool, clear breeze. And just kind of a heart smile. And roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Do it anyways. And do it anyways. Okay, that's the 12 plus 4, 16.
16. Your mind is drawn to your uncleansed stone for a moment, and that peaceful kind of calm that you have kind of turns to worry as your mind drifts and wanders to the implications of what you've learned, and you've almost convinced yourself that you feel it heating up, and you kind of place your hand through from the outside of the pouch just to check, and it's not, but
I think as though it is.
yeah, it's kind of like this worry in the back of your mind, like if you convince yourself that something's getting warmer. And then the rest of the trance is completed, unabated. And everybody complete a long rest. Let's go.
Take
How-
the long, confirm the long rest. Cool. All right.
Got all my
Yay.
stuff back. Thank
Mhm.
God. It's something to go through and see all your stuff. Check, 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 check.
Check, check, check. Ready for
I,
travel.
I will have in the extra 4 hours or some point, whatever, have transcribed the book to make a duplicate
Okay,
of
yep.
it.
No problem. The whole book or that passage?
Well, I mean, you said the book wasn't that long, and I'm not
No,
copying
the
the
passage.
pictures.
Yeah, the passage isn't that long. The book was a
Oh.
book of stories.
Oh, okay, okay. Well,
So it was just
okay,
kind of
so
like
then
a quick little children's story.
I guess was there anything else in that book that I would have found in my time having it after transcribing that would have been relevant? Because he probably if it's just a bunch of other stories that are unrelated, he doesn't concern. But if there's anything related to this, he probably would have at least glanced through to see.
Mhm.
Or is it too big, just too big?
It's not a super big book. It would have taken more than one night to transcribe it all, I would say.
Okay.
But nothing else in the stories it was maybe 12 different stories, and that was one of the 12.
Gotcha. And that was the only one that was relevant to my historical background mythos. Everything else is others. There's orc stuff. There's
Different
wood elf,
different
there's-
authors,
yeah.
different
Cool. All right.
Would you like me to write 12 different stories from
Please, yes. Actually, I expect that. This should have already been done. DM. What's wrong with you?
You're going to hand this to me and it's not done?
How dare you?
How dare you? These
How
are blank. These
dare
pages
you.
are blank.
I
We
need this book.
lore in all depths.
Even the lore has lore.
If the lore doesn't have lore, then you're not doing it right.
Come on, world building failure.
Dave. No.
Oh God.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you finish your long rest, whatever you would like to do.
Someone would like some pancakes before they leave.
Pancakes.
Yeah.
Yep, easy enough. Be 2 copper each.
Can you break a silver, please?
Break a silver piece. Yes.
I'm mad. I have 96 copper now sitting in my bank account.
Maybe if you weren't so generous. Wait, did he pay you back? You were like, oh, I forgot.
I took a gold piece up to the cashier. I was like, can you break that into copper, please?
You're that person. Oh no.
Yeah.
Counts them. 1, 2.
I know.
Now what you do is you break that 98 copper into 9 silver, or now 6 copper.
Good work.
Okay. Breakfast is had as good as ever from Arior's lovely breakfast cooking. Breakfast definitely the strongest meal of hers. And the day is ahead of you. We're looking at, you guys kind of got a pretty early start. So you're looking at probably 7 to 8 a.m. Sun just coming up.
We got everything we needed, right? Before we
Yep.
head out.
Let's go.
I just need to return this book to Kalendra. So, if you guys want to head, I'll meet you at the gate and we'll head out.
Oh, we'll be right here if you wanna. If you want us to
Okay.
come along, we can.
That's entirely up to you. That's just I just need to return the book back because I said I would.
We'll just go out. We'll wait out front while you go in there.
Okay.
That's all right. And Ron will follow.
So you're gonna head there right now. So Kalendra.
Yes, to Kalendra.
She's up bright and early working on the clerical duties. You see Haran in there, kind of sweeping up, tidying things up, helping her, giving her a helping hand.
Good morning, Kalendra.
Good morning, Kran.
I trust you slept well.
I did.
Good.
Well, I suppose that's not entirely the truth. I had a bit of a nightmare. That was terrifying, to say the least.
Did it feel unnatural, or was it just a nightmare?
I guess the topic was unnatural, but it didn't feel more than a nightmare, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. Good. I'm sorry to hear that. I can, especially considering I can say for myself, slept is the wrong word, but haven't slept better in a while. So, thank you. Even if it did some unpleasant thoughts in your head. And here, I'll hand her back the book. I've finished transcribing what I need from it. Even though I may not be able to properly prepare it just yet, that ritual before it was so rudely interrupted, what else could I, or do I need, just so I could make a note? Should I attempt, which I do intend at some point once I feel confident in my ability to do so, attempt this again, perhaps, should I encounter more?
I'm unsure of how to do it without this means, and she kind of motions over to the broken, bent, twisted chalice with the missing gems and stuff. You would need one of those chalices, properly adorned. Mine was sent in by the head temple. Not sure that you would be able to get your hands on one. The way they're adorned and crafted are expensive as well. So I'm sure the head temple's going to be really happy with my explanation for why I need a new one. She kind of grimaces.
I apologize, especially because I'm sure if Wood were to get out as to the exact nature as to what happened, with their current disposition on magic, probably wouldn't be too happy. Again,
Yes.
I apologize.
My hope is that they're so busy with all of that mess that they just sign off on mine and I get a new one very soon.
I hope so. And yes, I don't think I'll be coming across anything remotely than the realm of this particular grail. But better to know, so that if I do happen across it, then I'll be all the more prepared. Thank you. For
I
everything.
can teach you it, but as far as getting a grail of your own, a chalice like this,
And she kind of walks you through the ceremonial steps that she did, kind of the spilling it to the left, pouring in the silver dust, and then spilling it to the right, and all that different stuff,
Perfect.
swirling magic stuff.
Magic stuff.
Magic.
Out of character, it would just be I have to have ceremony prepared and perform atonement. That's what we established.
It's a special atonement, so it's part of it, but you would need the chalice on top of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I need the augments for it,
Yeah.
but this I only need to know that. Which, in
Yeah.
theory, I know.
It's basically casting atonement on the chalice if you were to have
with
one.
cool. That's
Mhm.
good. So, luckily, this is. I feel though, if I were to get all the necessary means, I could duplicate that glove that you have. Anything in particular special about its construction?
it's designed to protect the wearer from curses, cursed items. So, well, I suppose a more adventurous group. You know what? I want you to have it. I can get another one. I'll put it on the order.
But you are already claiming this practically irreplaceable chalice.
Yes, well,
You
I can
should-
say, well, I'll come up with a reason. You don't worry about it. But this, you'll be able to,
Hi, Saphira.
you'll be able to wear or use cursed items without receiving the curse. So if it does something extra, you don't have to bear the curse that it would typically endow. As long as it's being held by the glove, that is.
You can't adorn yourself with it on an unprotected area. Yes,
Yes.
it makes sense. I only if you are absolutely sure, and it's not a burden upon your ability to perform your duties to the temple here.
It's just a shame that that got stolen as well. She
Stolen.
kind of winks at you.
Oh, stolen. Thank you. I honestly don't believe I can properly elaborate just how appreciative I am. Thank you so much. You're a beautiful person, Calandra. Never change.
I can tell that you are too. Your whole group is, I think. And I'm sure that's what all of that purpose a few days ago was for. I think you'll do good things.
Well, I don't think I should keep them waiting any longer. We've got quite a journey ahead of us, and you have your own duties to attend to. But I hope to see you again soon.
And I as well. It's been a pleasure knowing you. And
And you as
Say-
well.
say farewell to all of them for me as well.
Of course. And you said Heron was here still too, helping
Yeah.
out and doing his, I'll say. And Heron, you take care of yourself as well. And her. Please.
I sure will. Owes you lot a great deal.
You don't owe us anything so long as you treat yourself with the respect that you're currently giving. You've got quite a bright future ahead. I'd hate to see you waste it again.
That's not happening.
Good.
Never been happier.
That heartens me to hear that. All right.
Thanks
Take care,
for the-
everyone.
Thank you for the second chance.
My pleasure. Pay it forward.
I will.
I'll head out, and I'll obviously tell them. Kalundra wishes us all a fond farewell, and she's pleased to have met us. And of course, I mean, of course, you can go in if you'd like to speak with her. It's rude of me to just relay a message. We're literally right outside, but she did say to take care, and she missed us.
Hearing the rude part would be rude. Rowan's be like, you know what? Rowan's gonna kind of walk on up and
Heading back in.
That's
Oh, hello.
no, Rowan's just gonna open up the door and say, "It was nice meeting you. We'll see you later." And he's gonna
He's
wave.
just kinda-
He's gonna like do like a point in hay to Heron and leave.
Thanks for bringing me back from the dead.
Anytime. Well,
Then Rowan's
not
gonna
any
walk back
time. It's
down.
not every time I have a diamond like that.
Add that to the list of things that got stolen.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
All right, so we're ready to make that trek. To,
Indeed.
Lakehurst. I'm pretty excited. I haven't been there since I got whacked in the head with that branch with the Jathril, so I was pretty much out cold there.
I've never been there. What do I expect?
Well, it's kind of like
Tiered.
you'll see.
It's a big city. not the
Yeah, they
biggest
got
city,
good
but it's a
food.
big city. It is.
Yeah.
It's separated by tiers, like layers. It kind of almost like what's that one Lord of the Rings place? It overlooks and separates between a waterfall, and the waterfall kind of drips down the middle of the city. And
Like Gundor?
is that what it is? Yeah, it's like
I think it's
as you
Gundor that has the three.
got the lower districts, and then it
layers.
kind of
Mhm.
scales up
Yeah.
as it rotates around the mountain, and then the highest parts of the top of the waterfall and such. You'll see.
Alright. Well, Rowan's gonna kind of look at Briar, probably seeing her kind of just being distant. Have a thought to himself and suggest, do we need anything else? Should we stop somewhere or just get the show on the road?
I think we get the show on the road.
Asher?
Yeah, I'm already. I think we're already a day or two late, but
He's
we'll
getting
cross that
nervous.
bridge when we come to it.
Tell Asher, do you mind leading the way?
Yeah, I'll start heading that way.
So technically, there's two different routes. You can leave out of the let's see here. You can leave out of the northeast or the southeast direction. Lake Grasp itself is northeast, but it would be kind of a roundabout way. It would be probably another day of travel. But it's less mountainous. The southern route is less mountainous. The northern route is a little more wooded and kind of hilly.
It's the northern route's the road less traveled to get there.
Yes, it's the road less traveled because there's between Riverend and Lake Grasp. That's more of a main road than the one between Mid Cove and Lake Grasp and Lowood and Grape Lask.
Grape Lask.
Lake Grasp.
A grape flask. I could go.
So yeah, it's a larger main road, the southern one, but it would be another probably another day more of travel.
Go ahead, Rowan.
Nope, Rowan is just gonna say, well, we got 2 options to go. Well, I don't know what you guys want to do. I'm in no hurry.
Well, Asher just said that we were probably a day or 2 behind. Maybe we can make up a day.
We could.
Take the northern.
But at the same time, you know, it might be better for us to go with something that could potentially pose less resistance. Time is relative, especially if we have things that are stopping our process. If the other way's longer by default, but it's constant, that could be the better course.
Yeah, we've handled ourselves so far.
It's true.
It's a bit of fun.
Yeah, but I think I have to agree with Karan here. It's better to be safe than sorry. No, we haven't had the best luck.
Well, I don't know that route. Maybe. Well, I'm sure there's signs.
Alright, I guess south we go.
Okay. So, before we begin the travel, we will take a break, and I have some setup to do as you travel the southern road.
I wonder what's going to happen.
no.
What could happen? What could be being set up?
We just fall into the DM's trap. He's like,
Hey, I mean,
Yes, take the safer route.
go down this spooky hallway that nothing's gonna happen, or
this
like,
brightly lit
one that-
sunshine.
Yeah.
It's okay. Look, Fal's already warming up the D20s.
He's like, yep, they rolled an 8.
All right, guys. Also, Careful Cantrip, thanks for the 500 bits. And Raina, thanks for the 500 bits. Thanks for that. Earlier, I didn't call that out. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to
so
take
amazing.
a 15, almost 20-minute break to do some setup. And we'll see you guys. We'll see you soon. I love you. We'll be back.